you could consider that a mistake at this point. Like that's definitely
And another
Why the but? Like it was a mistake. Yes, it was a mistake. Instead, it's yes, but.
So MrBeast responds to Coffeezilla's crypto allegations on him, and he didn't give the answers Coffee expected. In the response, most of the time, MrBeast just dodges the questions, doesn't take accountability on anything, doesn't take criticism, manipulates the time of buying and selling crypto, and even lies in some cases.
Yeah, we didn't sell anywhere near the charity time. First of all, that's not true.
So if you don't know, recently MrBeast, a commentary YouTuber, interviewed MrBeast. He asks him a lot of questions about all the allegations, about his response, about the dogpack drama, about Eva Chris Tyson situation, Lunsley, and a lot of things. We have covered half of the video in this one, but there were some questions related to crypto which went unanswered in the interview. So MrBeast just makes a follow-up call and asks the remaining question about the crypto allegations. So who made these crypto allegations against MrBeast? Recently, a YouTuber named Coffeezilla made a video investigating MrBeast, in which he talks about MrBeast's shady crypto activities, but there was one problem. Even after directly asking the question from MrBeast didn't answer any of it.
I secretly interviewed MrBeast after he refused to answer my questions in my investigation.
He didn't accuse MrBeast of being a scammer, but his crypto history is definitely suspicious and shady. MrBeast definitely asked him the question, but Coffeezilla just uploaded another video on his second channel, voidzilla, that some of the answers MrBeast gave were shady and untrue. To even see how Coffeezilla just destroyed MrBeast. So hey, this is Mushroom. I talk about things going on YouTube because I love YouTube. So Coffeezilla definitely asks MrBeast to ask some questions because he had a hunch that the questions wouldn't be asked properly in the direct interview.
I was able to ask a handful of follow-up questions. I think it was 2 or 3 questions at the end of the video through Oompaville. I just wrote up a Google Doc because I had a feeling that they weren't going to be properly addressed.
The first question he asks through Oompaville is who controlled the crypto wallet. MrBeast claims that he wasn't the one controlling the wallet. It was rather a fund, which was basically his own fund. So he's just dodging the question. But also he makes one mistake. In an impulsive podcast, he admits that he was the one controlling the wallet, which was definitely a bit old, but that was the time when these crypto allegations came forward. Even though he claims that the fund was controlling the wallet, this podcast just contradicts it. Yes, he definitely did have control over these decisions.
On a podcast with Logan Paul about CryptoPunks, you talk about a call you had with Mr. Gary where you claim to have bought and or sold CryptoPunks, but then later decided to roll the money into VFriends. And this is all like video, obviously.
I bought a bunch. I bought quite a few. I bought multiple ones. I've already sold quite a few of them. So then I rolled the money into VFriends.
And this trading activity all happened within the Wu-Tang wallet, which we talked about last night.
Yes.
So if it was your decision, you know, if semantically, if what you're talking about on the podcast, if it was your decision, your trading decision to buy and sell the punks or VFriends, even though you didn't press the buttons, was it actually your decision? It still, to me, would mean that you had control of those trading decisions.
Yeah, these are good questions. Actually, I'm glad we're doing this follow-up thing so we can also just put all this stuff out there. So,
I like how he acts over here as if he wanted to answer this so bad. Remember, these are follow-up questions. These weren't asked on the interview. If he actually wanted to answer, he could have reminded Oompa in the interview itself. Yeah, this is considering that Oompa had these questions. But if these questions were sent by Coffeezilla after the interview, then this point wouldn't make sense. Let's see what MrBeast says.
Yes, I did say that in the podcast, and I obviously did not press the buttons. Like I've been saying, I didn't pick what punks to buy or anything. Gary Vee, like I said on that podcast, called me and a bunch of other people, said crypto punks were the next big thing. I thought it was pretty crazy. But, you know, the first thing I did right after that is just called the guy in charge of the fund who invested my money and it's other people's money as well, and just said, hey, Gary Vee seemed very passionate about these punks. You should look into it. If it makes sense, buy it. And so, you know, he did the research, picked what punks to buy, bought them. That's kind of high level how it went. But, you know, if he was like, oh, this is a shit investment, then he wouldn't have bought them. So
you can say this answer is very much deceiving. He's like, I bought this CryptoPunk because Gary said so. But he clearly has tweeted out that he bought CryptoPunk.
I bought A bunch. I bought quite a few. I bought multiple ones.
And also in the podcast, he says that he has sold it.
I've already sold quite a few of them.
So he's either lying now or was lying then. But lying then is very unlikely because it doesn't make any sense at all. Why would he brag about buying and selling CryptoPunks? And also liking the cigarette attribute.
The cigarettes, because I thought that was an interesting attribute.
So you bought it, but here he says that he bought it because Gary advised so. It's like I didn't do anything bad. I just gave my money to an advisor, which a lot of investors do. But still you manipulated the outcomes by tweeting this out. Don't pretend that you didn't know what you were doing.
He says he specifically bought certain CryptoPunks because he liked their attribute, like the cigarette one. He's like, I like the cigarette CryptoPunk.
The cigarettes, because I thought that was an interesting attribute.
But here he's saying, oh, I didn't even know which ones to buy.
I don't know which punks to buy or which ones we should buy if it's a good investment.
Like real special ones.
I had some that like whatever 20, 30x.
What's a
we bought a lot with like the cigarettes because I thought that was an interesting attribute.
Well, which is it? I feel like if he's telling the truth now, then he was just blatantly lying then. And if he was telling the truth then, he's blatantly lying now or just trying to distance himself from this. I feel like I understand why, because the more he was kind of directing Jason, obviously the worse all of this stuff looks. But I think it's impossible to get away from the fact that MrBeast in 2021 was clearly in some type of contact with this fund that was not normal. This is not a normal, I'm going to give my money to a financial advisor and I don't make any of the decisions. He clearly was directing some of the strategy to say, hey, go get CryptoPunks, and then to go move your money into VFriends because Gary V says so. For Gary V to then give MrBeast a gift to the fund, like, it's all very strange. And I feel like the frustration here is the fact that anytime there's a problem, it's all the fund. I did nothing. I had nothing to do with it, etc. But when you actually look at these investments were all talking about Jimmy. Like, it wasn't about, oh, there's multiple stakeholders, it's Jason Williams. No. It was all MrBeast. And that's the criticism that I think he's not engaging with here.
Yes, MrBeast just doesn't take criticisms. He's never wrong. Next comes the super thing in which he pretends that he didn't do anything bad. He's just like, I invested because I had a hunch that it would go up. But you can see clearly that he promoted super in multiple locations. That's the reason why it went up, obviously. This was something very much against him.
The Supercoin tweet, for context, on May 12th, 2021, you, MrBeast, tweeted in response to it was an Elio Trades tweet. There's a gym sitting there on the market at an eye-watering price set to explode during DeFi Summer 2.0. And then you responded by saying super ? With a crazy emoji. Why did you not disclose that you had a vested interest in the coin that you were tweeting about? Super ?
I didn't. I replied to a tweet, so I did tweet it out. And I think a lot of people.
Wait, you did tweet it out? You reply. This is such a weird distinction. You'll see multiple times he kind of goes like, he'll engage with something that's not really the criticism. The criticism is, well, why didn't you just disclose you had tons of super? And you'll see he bends over backwards to not answer that question.
People, that are just getting second hands of the story think I literally tweet out, go buy super, go buy super. The fund did hold some super. And I just saw that was the owner of Super, the guy who made the coin. And I just went scrolling through Twitter, just replied Super to his tweet. I did not tell people to buy Super.
Here Coffeezilla explains why this was a bad thing and why MrBeast just tweeting super meant a lot of things. And no, it's not just a tweet like MrBeast says.
So first of all, does not answer the question of like, why didn't you disclose it? Such an obvious disclosure. Jimmy set up the Super pre-sale thing. That is such a big deal. In his whole thing about like, oh, I barely had anything to do with the fund. The most profitable trading decision this fund ever made was set up explicitly by MrBeast Jimmy Donaldson. Now he's saying like, it was just the fund that held that. No. You set that up. You're the reason the fund held that. Okay. Then we have, I was just responding to a tweet. Well, what was that tweet that he was responding to? He goes, I didn't tell anyone to buy super. The tweet that he responded to was, there's a gym on the market at eye-watering prices. No coin is mentioned. So they're basically saying, like, there's this incredible play you could make on the market. And Jimmy's response to the guy he got in the pre-sale with is super. And he doesn't disclose, one, that he set up a pre-sale and he's, like, in before anyone else, right? Millions of dollars, he's in. Two, that his fund had been selling and continued to sell after that tweet. Like, the most irresponsible, even if you want to give him ultimate master benefit of the doubt, incredibly irresponsible. And there's no way that a single person did not see that, and multiple people, I'm sure, see the biggest influencer in the world talking about this, some great low cap coin at eye-watering prices. He's responding this, and they don't see that as a buy signal from MrBeast. Again, of course, he didn't explicitly say that, and that's the kind of the fake criticism he's trying to engage with is something that nobody's saying, which is that he said, go buy super. Like, you have to just be completely disconnected with the story to think anyone's saying that. We all know what he said, but he doesn't engage with this at all. And it's just so frustrating to see this. Like, this is his chance to kind of own it and say, hey, look, this was shady. I shouldn't have done this. I can even buy the fact that, maybe MrBeast had no idea his fund was selling, right? That's fine. You can say that. But you can't dodge the accusation like you should have disclosed it. You can't dodge the fact that you were involved, like directly involved with the super pre-sale. So we'll let him keep talking here, but that is like undergirding this whole thing is, this complete dodge of the criticism, when honestly, you should just be honest and say, yes, it was shady, it was wrong, I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, it's so stupid, it doesn't make any sense. And just typing out super is enough to get a sign. He doesn't need to type in, go buy super, to get people to buy that thing. But he still denies as if it's not that big of a deal.
I just replied super.
And of course, Coffeezilla doesn't have any evidence or proof that MrBeast was doing shady things in the background. But even in the foreground, he made tweets, talked about it, so he can't be denying that he didn't do anything wrong.
I've never said that we have proof of that. We don't have proof either way. We just have to take MrBeast at his word that he wouldn't do something like that. Again, is it an illegal scam? No, I personally don't think so. I mean, I think we'd need more evidence for that. But is it shady, and should you take accountability for this? Like, obviously shady move? Yes. And I don't feel like he is. I literally, this drives me crazy, the fact he goes, I just said super, as if it's like without context, as if he doesn't know what he's responding super to. Like, that's so, I don't know, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, MrBeast acts as if he doesn't have any idea what he's doing. Like, you can clearly see he's trying to deceive people.
I could see how people might think that is a weird look optically, and so like I wouldn't do it, but I mean,
it's not just, so first of all, we should give him credit here. He admits that it's bad, but he only admits that it's bad optically. He's like, yeah, it's like, if you look at it without context, like, yeah, like if it's bad optically, so I guess I wouldn't do it.
MrBeast is like, it looks bad from the outer perspective, but it isn't that big of a deal. Like, he admits that it's bad, but he also gives a reasoning why it's not that bad as you think it is. It's crazy.
I mean, I really don't think it's that malicious. Like, if I just flat out tweeted, I think super is the next big thing, go buy it, super. Like, I think this is a different conversation. That's the kind of stuff actual people do, you know what I mean? And like,
here MrBeast is like, a lot of people who want coins to sell will go full on it and promote it in every possible circumstances. They will be like, go buy super, it's very crazy. But it's just so stupid because they can literally get in trouble with that one. So they give subtle indications to buy coins. They wouldn't go full on it.
You are crossing some influencer ethics here, and like, as the guy who has such a clean image that's a children's channel, it's not like you're some edgy guy. You have this very, well, this was kind of his, I don't know what people think of MrBeast now, but it is kind of his brand he's going for. And so, I don't know, I just would think that he would see this very much more clearly. And then that's what makes me think it's more of a dodge than anything. It's like, he, of all people, should understand why you shouldn't be doing this.
Yes, with an image of child-friendly person, which was destroyed by Ava Chris Dyson recently, but still he makes content for children. With that of an image, he can't be selling cryptos and giving indications to buy coins. That is just bad.
So,
yeah, scammers.
So I just don't, so it was just interesting too, because Coffee never said I was a scammer in his video. Yeah,
That's true. That's true. I said it was shady. I did not say it was a, he's a scammer.
Of course, Coffee never said he was a scammer. What Logan Paul did, that's what a scam is. He promised people to provide crypto zoo egg things and never even released it. There were multiple scams going on in the background as well, in the internal team of Logan Paul's crypto zoo, which we have talked in this video. But what MrBeast did wasn't that level of a scam. It was rather like a shady thing to do, giving an indication and denying it. That's why Coffee never said he was a scammer. MrBeast also uses scapegoats to put blame on. Whenever someone points finger at him, he diverts the finger to some other person. Just like in the Lunchley drama, drama, he stayed silent and let Logan and KSI get all the hate. He's the type of person who tries to deflect all the hate towards him and direct it to someone else if he could. Just like that, in this too, he doesn't accept the blame on himself. He considers it as a mistake, but he denies everything. Even if he says he's wrong, he still has an answer and an explanation for it. This level of not accepting your mistake and arguing on the explanations is crazy. Coffee also talks about how many times he agrees to make a mistake but still has an explanation for it. It's like, hey, I know it looks bad, but I can explain it. He says but a lot of times in this.
Yeah, but now, I mean, obviously with because crypto is changed massively in the last couple of years. So you could consider that a mistake at this point. Like that's definitely,
And another thing.
Why the but? Like, it's the most layup thing. Hey, Oompa even gives him kind of the out, which is that back in 2021, things were harder, like, which I don't personally agree with that part of it. But, back in 21, all you have to say is, yes. That's it. That's all you have to say. It was a mistake.
Man, this part is so funny. Oompa is even trying to say that it was a mistake. We all make mistakes. It's okay, but he still denies it with a but.
A lot of people who do this kind of stuff do it on low volume coins that sell $100,000 a day. So it actually dramatically pumps it and blah, blah. Super is like the 100th biggest crypto coin out there. Super is like a legit coin. It's a legit project that's massive. Like that tweet didn't move the needle for shit or anything.
Here, according to MrBeast, other people who promote crypto coins do it in low value coins, which has a high impact on the promoting it. If they promote it, the coin will go up and they will make money. But MrBeast says that the super coin was already a big deal. It is a top 100 crypto coin, so him promoting it didn't make a lot of difference. Comparing himself with others here is so wrong. How can he be like, yeah, a lot of people do this, but me doing it didn't matter? But you get the point. Coffee also speaks about it.
Yes, it was a mistake, but all these other people are way worse than me, but this and this and this and this, and I had nothing to do with it. I just feel like just own up to it. It's fine.
And then the final one, this one's a lot more complicated and involves a lot of stuff. So I mean, maybe you would want to reconvene with like receipts or evidence or whatever. But it's the crypto charity stuff. Team C's Eternity.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that one. Eternity gave us NFTs to auction off for Team C's. Only one sold after a day, I believe, and that was it. And then it looks like the fund sold like 27 days later. A little bit of Eternity.
He says a little bit of Eternity, but it was literally $2 million. And also the timeline he gives is wrong over here, which is explained by Coffee.
They sold $2 million. And then on top of that, here's where you can actually see the dates of all this stuff. You can see the offer was made on November 2nd. Is that what he's referring to when he says, we sold it? But because that's not actually true. The sale did not happen until December 23rd, 2021. After the fund sold. So this whole idea he's going to say multiple times where he's going to go, we didn't sell anywhere near the charity time. First of all, that's not true. Second of all, it's just literally false, and NFT sold after the fact. So this whole defense of his is based on misinformation, which is the idea that the offer was made on November 2nd, but the actual transfer and sale date wasn't made until December 23rd, 2021. You can see the date here. It says bid 1 for this charity thing. And this is just such a basic thing that is just, I think, incredibly, it's just misinformation at this point, which is ironic because that's what MrBeast says he's so against, but he downplays this whole thing. And I just feel like there's no need for this. Even if he's telling the truth, it doesn't matter because it's wrong anyways. But the fact is that the bid actually wasn't won until after the fund did sell.
For on tokens, 2 million is a lot of money. Might be a little bit of money for MrBeast, but it's a lot of money. The amount of lies Coffee pointed out was also insane. Like MrBeast is convincing everyone that he's innocent by lying. This is the part when we know he lied, but there is no guarantee that he didn't lie in the interview. That too, considering the fact that he kept his hand on the Bible, that he won't lie, it's still wrong. Of course, Dogpack also made the claim that MrBeast is Antichrist, so keeping his hand on the Bible and still lying might not seem like a big thing for him, but it's very wrong to do so.
Yeah, it sold $2 million of the earn token.
Yes, obviously. It's like the most obvious comeback.
Yes, the fund did. 20.
Oh, now there it is. There's the fund. Hey, the fund did.
MrBeast is like, the fund did sell 2 million, but it was the fund and not me. But on the official site of Eternity, his name was written in partners and investors, not the fund. The CEO of Eternity doesn't say that a fund is investing in us. He says that MrBeast is investing in us. So the fund ran because of his name. Basically, he is the fund. Just like Walter White said, I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger. And he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. The fund did it.
Yeah, I mean, I just for this one, I feel like this is a valid criticism. And this doesn't make you like an evil scammer or anything, I don't believe.
Yeah, this was a fair criticism. It was MrBeast's mistake on his part, but he still denies it.
I feel like this is one where the criticism is valid. It is a good example of philanthropy stuff that probably should have just been done differently, but at the same time, 2021 is like a huge area of gray for influencers with crypto access, and like it's just, I don't know, it seems like a game that if you're a big influencer in 2021 or 2020 and you got into crypto at some point, you probably made some kind of mistake at some point.
It was a software setup made by Unta here. He's like, you made a mistake. It was very easy for him to just say, yes, he did a mistake, but he still denies everything.
But as the charity guy, if your fund is privately making like millions of dollars during a charity drop that your name is attached to, like even if
so again, that I would say is not fully correct. So the charity
He can't even take the little bit of criticism. He's like, no, not correct. Let's hear him out.
drop happened. One sold. The other ones weren't selling. No one cared. So there was no selling of NFTs to raise money for charity anywhere near where the fund was selling before or after.
Yes, it was. It was after. It sold that's just not correct. That's just not true.
People could technically still have bought those NFTs, but no one did because it just basically, no one cared.
Yeah, here MrBeast is like, the coin was flop, so it doesn't matter. But when it came to Super, he was like, the coin was so up, me tweeting it didn't matter either way. So in both the cases, he's dodging the responsibility.
I don't feel like that's a fair criticism. Like, they gave...
I'm sorry I'm pausing so much. That is like so unhinged to say. After the lightest pushback, hey, maybe this is a bit bad. Not even saying you're a scammer. 2021's a different time. Oh, that's not fair criticism. No, not fair criticism. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Sorry to say, yes, it is.
Here, Coffee also speaks about the fair criticism thing. Like, it was fair criticism. He made mistake on his part, but he doesn't take any accountability on it.
It's not like this where's a charity drop that was selling hundreds of NFTs a day, and in the middle of all of it, they sold some earn tokens. It's like one NFT sold, raised money. The charity, sell just basically died. It's not going up. No one's buying it. No one ever buying it anymore. And almost a month later, it's sold. So, I mean, if anything...
Again, timeline is so important here. The bid was not given, sold, and the transfer didn't happen until after the sales. The charity was ongoing, and during that is when the fund sold. So this whole dodge here is inaccurate.
Here he tries to confuse with the timeline. The real timeline of buying and selling was way different from what he's saying, which is also explained by Coffee. Oompa did a good job asking questions, but most of the time he agrees to what MrBeast is saying and accepts MrBeast's buts. But if it was Coffeezilla interviewing him, MrBeast would be cooked. Like, seriously, he would start sweating and it would be very bad for him. But still, Oompa did a good job. So this was it about this video. Also, you can read comments, which are also funny. If you're the boss and tell someone to press the button, you press the button. Here he's talking about MrBeast not taking accountability thing when he puts all the blame on the fund, and this comment is crazy. That didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad, and if it was, that's not a big deal, and if it is, that's not my fault, and if it was, I didn't mean it, and if I did, you deserved it. The narcissist player. This is such a crazy comment. What do you guys think? Is MrBeast a narcissist? The way he denies everything, it seems like it. MrBeast didn't pick Coffee on purpose because he knows Coffee is a real journalist. Tell me what you guys think about it. Was Jimmy lying? Is Jimmy an antichrist for keeping his hand on the Bible and just lying in some occasions? Will this be the end of MrBeast drama and allegations? Please subscribe to this channel, and also I created another channel where I'll be uploading shorter videos more consistently. Please subscribe over there. It literally has 6 subscribers. We'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.
Back in 21, all you have to say is yes. That's it. That's all you have to say. It was a mistake? Yes, it was a mistake. Instead, it's yes, but.